Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien and Santa Bubba here on the morning of Friday, December 4th, 2020. TGIF. And this is an editorial response to NBC's Dateline of yesterday, November 3rd, 2020. Dear Lester Holt and Dateline, I saw your special yesterday on the COVID-19 vaccine effort. I must commend Mr. Holt. You are surely following in the footsteps of both Mr. David Brinkley and Peter Jennings. You and David Nuhr from ABC seem to be two newsmen that know what you're doing. Nora O'Donnell at CBS, on the other hand, should go back and watch Walter Cronkite a little bit to understand what it is to be a good news person. Now, Mr. Holt, I like what you're doing. I'll give you a 99% on your information piece. If you had something to do with that other than the Dateline producers and NBC Universal, they must commend you for doing a good job. You did a good job as the moderator and the question answer of that. Something that CBS and ABC's got to learn. But it's a little too late, too little too late, Mr. Holt. Where was your special on when the pandemic started? Okay, so we're going to go the route of the vaccines. What do we do in the meantime to mitigate? And no, you can't say the fact that lockdowns, mask, and social distancing is mitigation. That is only one point of it, and it's a small point, not even a big point. That's not even mitigation. It's like saying, okay, we're going to take a BB gun and shoot mosquitoes in Panama while we're building the Panama Canal. You see what I mean? That is exactly what you were doing on the virus, Mr. Holt, and you know it, and I know it. Where was that special that you should have done it to? Okay, what the steps does the United States government, the state governments, the medical industry, and the medical community, i.e. doctors and nurses, first responders, firemen, what are you going to do during the pandemic? Because it's going to get bad, but we don't know when we're going to get the vaccines. But what are we doing in the meantime? And you did absolutely nothing. And you can't count those lockdowns and mask and social distancing because they absolutely didn't work. And they won't work this time. Read my channels, you guys, producers of Dateline NBC. That's Daniel DeGracia. I got two channels. The old one has 1,000 videos in it. The new one has about 24. I had 29 subscribers on my old channel. I'm building it up because I had to put a new one on because of changing over my phone, and Google and everything else would go boom. So, speaking from another planet, I've told you a way you could have mitigated this. Now you have 280,000 dead plus as of today. Almost 65 million infected in planet. Almost 15 million in the United States. And yes, Dr. Fauci is right. You're on a runaway train here. When you're saying, oh, the vaccines are here, the vaccines are here. Now, you made a good question, Mr. Holt, when you said to the guy, what are you going to tell the people that took the placebo? Really? What is Pfizer, Moderna, and the other companies that are doing these vaccines going to tell those people that took absolutely nothing and say, oh, well, you're still at risk here, yoo-hoo! And how many were there? 30,000 or so? Or over 100,000 if you count all the people that took the placebo from all these companies? You see what I mean, Mr. Holt? And then you're saying, oh, 94%, 95%, and 90% effective. I remember when I was a kid, and you guys brought out that first influenza vaccine back in the late 1960s. I was about 9 years old in 69. And the National Institute of Health hyped, oh, we got the flu killed. We got an 85 to 90% chance so the flu will be a thing of the past. Yeah? And especially CBS under the Spectrum program back in the 1960s was hyping this. Why? The vaccine has never been 50% effective. This year's probably will be, 40% maybe, if that? You see what I mean? There's got to be mitigation. Look at what you did for the Panama Canal. You had to mitigate it in order to build the Panama Canal. The vaccine for yellow fever didn't come around until 1930. You couldn't wait that long to build the canal, especially with Mr. Teddy Roosevelt out there. So what are you going to do here? You put all your eggs in one basket. And to give you a hint, I'm quoting from the report by the European Alliance, August 31st, 2064. By the end of December 2020, there were 200 million infected planet-wide. 200 million. And 26 million dead. Okay? That's by the end of December 31st, 2020. In the United States, you had 45 million infected and 478,000 dead, because it'll be exponentially from this month going down. You're right now at 2,700 dead. By December 31st, you'll be at 7,700 dead. And by the time you roll your first vaccines in January, February, and March, by April 30th, these vaccines are going to kill more people than the virus did. By the end of this time next year, you'll be at 155 million Americans dead, 220 plus million infected, 2.1 billion dead planet-wide, Mr. Holt. 4.1 billion of them were infected. The United States will cease because this infection, when it gets ramping along with your vaccines, and all three of them are going to cause a lot of deaths. It's going to cause you to lose people in your key sectors, so your government will cease to exist because you can't sustain your way of governing the way you are today with this virus and the vaccines. And the problem is, you're basing the virus on February. The virus has mutated maybe 8 to 10 times already. You should have mitigated the virus through the atmosphere, just like you tried to mitigate the mosquitoes in Panama in 1904. But nobody did that, because there's no money in it. But we're going to get a lot of money from the vaccines here, yoo-hoo, because we have the people, the taxpayers are paying the money. Sure, it's going to be free to them, but we'll find a way to stick it to them. And that's the way you do it. That is the free American way. Stick it to the citizen. This is your favorite alien and Santa Bubba. Good day.